Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Happy Thanksgiving. Literally just around the corner. And then, of course, Christmas. I've got my tree over here going on. Okay, so I'm so excited to hear from Chanel and Dina. And we're kind of just going to go through this in question format. One, Chanel, if you want to just kind of start with who you are, how you got started, short, simple, sweet version. And then we'll just jump right into you asking Dina kind of the same. And then let's talk about the upcoming next several weeks, right? We've got Thanksgiving around the corner. How are you talking about your business around people? Guys, I know that sometimes this can be a really stressful time. I know the holidays can be stressful, family can be stressful, lack of money for Christmas can be stressful. So, like, the biggest thing that I could say is don't put your business in the back corner because it can help in all of that. Not only can it help in your stressful situation, but it can help somebody that you don't know that is praying for an answer out of their situation. Because that was me. I was literally living November, December, January, just praying, God, please fix me. In February, I finally said yes, and look what happened. So, you never know who is just praying that God sends them some help. And you could be that vehicle for them to open them up into thriving. One, feeling better. That's less stress right there. And then two, about the financial side. Because let me just tell you, when we started this, we were fighting all the time about finances. Everything was so stressful. Our marriage got better when I started thriving. Like when I say not only was I feeling better, so I was a better me, I was a better wife. And then when you take that financial stress off of your shoulders, it's amazing how much your marriage can truly be at the forefront and not the forefront be this bill, this collector call, that call. So I really challenge you to make that your focus right now is not just on your business and your bills, but who else is sitting in that situation that you could help. So, with that, I'm headed over to Chanel and then I'll be here. We can go back and forth.
Okay, I'm gonna go first because I want to just want to say first and foremost before I start, I am super proud of Deanna for stepping out of her comfort zone. It's something that she's never done. So when she comes on, I wanted to go first to open it up for her. That way she's just a little bit warm into it. But being a leader, when you press that promoter button, you become a leader. No matter how big or fast you do that and learn and grow, that's up to you. So being able to watch these teammates of mine just be able to step out of the comfort zone, I'm so proud of. So, Deanna, I love you. I can't wait to hear more of your story. But a little bit about me, guys. If you don't know me, my name is Chanel Cooksey. I have been here with Lavelle as a promoter since March of 2019. And I was a customer before I ever pressed that promoter button. Actually, about 2017, my upline that's actually no longer here. Thank you, Jesus. Prayers are answered for that. Not everybody that you join in here is always going to be your best friend or someone that sticks with you and teaches you to, be better and as you grow in this business. So back in 2017, I actually started as a customer and through in that mindset like, oh, I can do this, working a full-time job, single mom. And so I pressed that promoter button, really not ready for that experience and being able to grow. I definitely believe that when it comes to doing this business, it is about timing. And right that moment, I thought it was my time, but it really wasn't. I wasn't actually focused on that 14-day VIP period. I wasn't focused on really posting and talking to people about it. I was working a full-time job, single mom, and I just let all that fly by. And I just really threw in the towel really quickly. And I wasn't in a good place then with working full time and not really knowing who I was. And just, again, my timing was off. So I soon after just kind of let it go. And I continued to watch people do this online and other network marketing businesses. And I actually did network marketing in the past. I've tried Beachbody. I've tried the Unique Makeup, and it was cool. Again, wasn't really passionate about that. I was always at 17 years old. I started high school with, or before, excuse me, before graduating high school, I was a workaholic. I started my first job, and all it was 9 to 5s, work, 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 be on someone else's time, asking for time off. And so during that 2017 to 2019, I watched, and as most of you know my story, if you don't, I'm a third-time surrogate. So I found surrogacy back in 2018, kind of also 2017, and then was doing that. And again, watching online, doing the things, following my own journey. And then I had those twins February of 2019, and I was really enjoying being home with my kids. My maternity leave started January 1st. I went up to an hour away town and stayed at Airbnb, and then delivered those twins at the beginning of February of 2019. And then from there, I was like, I really enjoyed being home with my kids. I had never known that life because I was always working, 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 other people raising my kids, not me, and always being tired and not being the mom that I really wanted to be. And so when I started that maternity leave in January of 2019 and had those babies, and then kind of had a following from there of, that surrogacy and people who knew me, but not really, very minimally small. And then when I had seen that there was bonuses that were available, I was like, I tried this before and it really wasn't my time, but I maybe want to try it again. Maybe something's calling me to do this. And so I messaged my former friend at the time, who got me into this. I had watched her for a couple years, um, and who I originally pressed that promoter button with in 2017. And I think, I said to myself, okay, I'm just going to message her. I see all these bonuses going on, these, car bonuses and et cetera, and not anything that we've grown so much in the company and our compensation plan from there, but these bonuses came. And so I just said, hey, I think I'm ready to jump back into this and do it. And I was in a totally different mindset than it was in 2017. I was posting a lot. I was sharing with people. I was posting pictures of me smiling, something that I really didn't do. I was always posting my children and hiding behind the camera, as most of us moms know what that's like. We don't want to show our face. We're grumpy, or, we're tired. We are not confident. But the confidence that did not know vitamins could do for me is what Thrive did for me. And very early on, I bought my promoter kit a couple days in of just learning and watching Zooms and making posts and putting myself out there. I was able to get, commissions, and I was able to earn that money back from my promoter kit. And then the next week followed, and I had already hit my VIP. At that time, we didn't have VIP 400. We only had VIP 800 and VIP 1600, and I had hit both of those. And I'm like, wow. And I'm, being shouted out, which is really important when you're bringing in new people, and even when you're having current teammates, being able to have those people shouted out. We're not always perfect at it, and we're growing as people every day, but being shouted out and earning these commission checks and being like, I could really do something with this. And then it was at the 2-week mark, and I already got all those VIP bonuses, and I saw my 2-week paycheck. I jumped on a live video in front of everybody, and I was not pretty, but I was vulnerable. And I got on that video, on that live, and I cried my eyes out. And going from being the mom who worked all the time, wasn't able to raise my daughter, um, which is an emotional subject for me, as you can see. I was not able to raise my daughter. And I wholeheartedly think if I was able to find network marketing thrive and, stick with it. You think to yourself, what could have this done for me if I really just stuck with it and learned and adapted and grew and stopped making excuses for myself? What could it have done in 2017? Um, and then what it did for me in 2019. So at that time, my daughter was still young, but not, I had missed moments. And my son was 3. I had missed moments with him too, but not as much as I did with my daughter. So being able to find network marketing and really just putting that effort in and not thinking of it as like, oh, I'm going to give this a month thing. I'm going to give this 6 months. I'm going to give this a couple years. But really just continuously posting every day, showing up, telling people what this was about, showing that live video just changed everything for me, being vulnerable with people. And soon I had messages. What are you doing? What is this Thrive thing? And I shared it with everybody. And I've fallen off, 7 years later of not always sharing it like I did in the beginning and having to constantly remind myself that sometimes what you did in the beginning is sometimes what you need to go back to when you're 7 years in, like me. So it has absolutely changed things for me as a mom and now a wife. I was actually at a lifestyle getaway with Lavelle in February of 2020 before COVID hit. And my husband did not know he was going to be my husband at that time, had been watching my lives and my stories. And we were friends. And I wholeheartedly believe if I did not put myself out there and grow and boost my confidence and just let Thrive just lead the way, lead with the product. I don't know if my husband would be my husband, but he was watching my my getaway and vicariously living through that. And then I found my husband a year into this business, and I never expected that. But before him, I was being able to be home. If you remember during my story, I told you about that I was on maternity leave in January of 2019. Well, I never went back to that 9 to 5 job. My boss actually called me a couple weeks after I started Lavelle, and I was earning money that I had never seen before while being away from my kids, while being miserable, while missing those moments. I was making more money here with them and having that time than I was away from them. And so my boss called me a couple weeks in and he goes, "Hey, what are you thinking? Were you ready to come back?" And I said, "Damon, I found something that I wasn't expecting. I am making more money being home with my children right now than I am with, at the time, I was working for a company called FCR. And I said, I don't think I'm coming back. And I was really scared. I was really scared. I was not expecting this business to replace my 9 to 5 income. And I had been at that job for 5 years. And I wasn't expecting it to do all the things, but literally just trying and showing up and putting myself out there and doing things that I was not comfortable with, not experienced with, but learning and growing and everything in between. I came from a small town of like 1,800 people, so I didn't know very many people on my Facebook, but adding people, getting into groups, just doing the 5 4 3 2 1, following these other leaders that inspired me, and still doing that till this day. I wholeheartedly believe if it weren't for network marketing, still be behind that desk away from my kids, missing those moments. And I wish I would have started sooner. But we all have the things we wish you could go and change, but you you do it now and you do it for your why. And if you have forgot your why, you need to remember that why. And on your bad days where you feel like giving up, you feel like everybody's out to get you, or you just go to the person that you trust and let them just hear you cry, hear you scream, hear you vent your frustrations. And if they love you, they're going to listen to you, but they're also going to tell you that you are capable. You can do this. Even when you doubt yourself, I've had so many people um, tell me, I know you. I know what this has done for you. Remember your why and keep fighting for that why. And I am proud to say that still almost 7 years later, Lavelle has kept me home with my kids. I earned that auto bonus at 28 days into this company, and I've held it ever since. And so that was cool. I never owned a brand new vehicle before, and actually just I had turned that auto bonus from that $300 that I had for years, and finally bought a brand new vehicle. Never owned a brand new vehicle in my life, but my husband and I went down to the dealership in January of this year and bought a brand new Bronco. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'm finally cashing it in because before I started Lavelle, I got a used vehicle. And so I used the money that I was getting for that auto bonus. Again, didn't expect that, but I used that $300 for that auto payment and to be able to now have a brand new vehicle is really, really awesome. So you just never know when that time is. And I'm really thankful for what this company has done for me, what these products have done for me too. My kids, my son thrives with me and he's 8. He sees this. He actually just this morning he goes, Mom, I'm going to be like you and I'm going to partner up with Kodiak, like you partner up with Thrive, and I'm going to sell waffle sandwiches. So you never know who you're inspiring. It could be your next door neighbor. It could be someone who maybe hates your guts, but sees your heart because you put it out there on social media and they get the wrong impression about you. It could be your 8-year-old child. But yeah, that is my story. And I'm not always perfect at sharing it, but if it wasn't for Lavelle, even though I've done other companies before, they did not compare. Nothing compares. I've looked at other places and, because everyone, tries to message you and tempt you into this and that. And there's nothing like Lavelle. There's nothing like our products. And that might sound cocky and all these things, but it's true. It really is. There's nothing out there like our products and what they can do. People can try to replicate it. They can try to say they're the best of the best, but we are the best of the best. And if you're here and you're doubting yourself, just know you are in the right place. But connect with like-minded people, and just remember who the heck you are. Oh, and she's puppy. Is it the puppy?
Yes, and I don't have a toy to throw, and she's yapping at me. So thank you so much. So love hearing your story, and I'm so glad that you're here. We are going to jump right to, okay, so is it Dina or Deanna? I'm so sorry. Oh, wait. There you go. Okay, start over. Oh, can y'all hear her? Because I cannot. Like it says it's unmuted, and I hear like air, but I can't hear you. I wonder if it's your computer microphone. Oh, connecting to audio. Okay, maybe. Try again. Oh, oh no.
We love
Um,
technical difficulties around here.
yeah. So it says connecting audio. I wonder if it's something on your computer audio. Yeah, okay. She's gonna log in with her phone and we're gonna try this again. And in the meantime, let's chat. Okay, so definitely getting a lot of questions, Xera. So if you didn't see the announcement that if you didn't get Xera samples, so like some people were like, I just want to grab my Xera and really didn't notice at the bottom that you could add samples. You can go and log into your cloud. There's a pop-up there, and they're allowing you to go get your samples. And you can get up to 3, or at least you could on the first day. You can get up to 3 samples or 3 sets of samples. There's 30 days in a sample or in a sample box of each 3 sample steps. Okay. I'm like, how did I get this all situated? So you can go order those if you were like, oh shoot, I didn't see that. I didn't know. Because I will tell you, having samples on hand is going to be instrumental for your business. It's going to be very important. Okay, she's back. Okay, so I'm gonna let her get back and situated because now it's a black square. Okay, so if you didn't go log into your cloud, you'll see the pop-up. grab your Xera samples. I believe it'll tell you at the bottom, just like the when you place your first Xera order, what date those will ship. This current Xera order should start shipping no later than December 15th. Of course, if something happens, they will send us an update and we will know. Um, okay, Dina.
Can you hear me now?
Yes! Hi!
Okay.
Okay. Now,
All right.
so
Who knows
because you were
what went on
muted,
there?
is it Dina or Deanna?
It's Dina. Yes.
Okay. You tried to say it, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying. Okay. So,
You,
it's
that's
so
fine.
cute. You're still muted. All right. So, go ahead, share with us how did you start thriving? And let's dive into how somebody, whether they're new or whether they've been here, can tackle the holidays coming up and still continue to grow their business.
Okay. So my name is Dina Smith. I've been thriving for a little over 5 years, I think now. I still haven't managed to learn like the whole gamut of the business. But one of these days I'm going to figure it out. I've only managed to be 4K once. But in retrospect of all of those things, that's okay because for me, what's first and foremost important is how I feel, on Thrive, and then helping those others, and also the community. The community means like a ton to me. Um, let's see, where else can I go with this? Um, yeah. Um, I've been kind of wishy-washy lately as far as like posting and this, that, and the other. I like sent out like it wasn't really a pity party thing. It was like a kick in the butt message to Chanel. Was it last week or earlier, whenever it was? And it's like, I just need to kick myself in the butt. I need to knock this off. I need to get back with it because I was doing super good. But then um, I kind of get discouraged. So part of my story also is that I have severe chronic pain a lot. I have a very bad back. And that just kind of sucks the life out of you. No matter how good your vitamins are, you're going to be tired because you don't sleep well. And so with that, it's like, I just, kind of fall off the edge because I'm so, it's just overwhelming, the pain. But I just needed that kick in the butt. And it's like, come on, Miss Smith, get your rear in gear and let's do this despite your chronic pain and just knock it off for yourself. Right. Um, yeah. So that's kind of the gist of my story. It's kind of short. I don't know what else to say.
Well,
What made you start
don't
that
and
promoter
don't write
button?
yourself off. But I will say I think this is good because everybody is human. Everybody has life. And it's one of those reminders of if you fall off on consistency, you just get right back on, right?
Yeah,
Like if you're
exactly.
riding a bicycle and you fall off, you get back on. And
Hmm.
or you push it to home until you're healed and then you get back on. Um, it's that same thing with consistency here. Like there never has to be this moment of, oh, well, I've got to tell everybody why I took a break or no, you just jump back in and
Right.
you just go, you know what, nobody has to know that I got off my consistency calendar. Like it's just jumping back in just normal because to most people they probably didn't even notice unless you like draw attention to the I'm restarting, just no, like
Right.
just talk about Thrive and talk about what it's done for you. Dripping. One thing I will say on the social media side, guys, is when you post, you need to be posting about you and your life and what will draw people into you. Why do people want to follow you? Why do people want to, comment or interact? Like talking about your life and then you drip in Thrive, right? Because if you're only posting about Thrive, people don't, it's not drawing them in to know, like, and trust you. And if you're talking about your life and who you are, whether it's reels, whether it's posts, like that's giving people the inside, right? The window into a little bit of your life. And they're like, oh, I like this girl, or oh, motocross or oh, surrogacy or oh, whatever it is that they connect with, they're going to follow you. And then when you're dripping in Thrive and you're talking about more energy, better sleep, more patience around the holidays, like, show your black label, can handle the stress of the family or the kitchen or the cooking or the 17 people running between my feet. Like those little posts are the things that are going to relate to others. Okay, Dina, Chanel said, shh, what made you push that promoter button?
So it was a post about earning some money, as always. And then so it was the money end of it. It's like, oh gosh, I really need that. And then I also just needed to feel better. And oddly enough, not oddly enough, back then I didn't have this chronic back pain. And so I don't know, for some reason I put a block up, and it's really dumb because I should know better, right? Back then I was more comfortable about talking about, how great I felt and all that kind of thing. And now it's like, well, clearly, I'm talking about it and it's like, well, you don't look like you feel good because you hurt like heck, right? So that's really stupid. So I need to stop that. But anyways, kind of backstepping again. It's like I did it for the money and then I did it for the vitamins. And then I also did it I wanted to help others feel better because I knew what it felt like just to feel like, pardon me, crap all the time. So yeah.
Well, and I think that's the thing too, is that that's the relatable part. You talk about how you no longer feel like crap, and we don't talk about a cure for your chronic pain, but you
Mhm.
can talk about how, hey, I used to not enjoy getting up every day. I
Mhm.
used to look at the clock and go, ugh, I want to sleep 10 more
Mhm.
minutes, or oh, I hate the idea of getting out of bed. And now I'm waking up, taking my capsules, I'm getting out of bed. I'm actually conquering my day. Because so my biggest thing was that I was feeling accomplished at the end of the day for the first time in several years because my to-do list was getting done. And I'd had the same to-do list for however long because I never completed anything. Everything was like half done, if that. And when I actually started marking things off, I was going to bed at night feeling like an accomplished mom and not a defeated mom. And when you
Mhm.
use words like that that are your story, people relate.
Yeah,
Let's see.
they do.
Chanel.
So Chanel, it's a funny thing. I work at the school, but there's another promoter in our itty bitty town, and she was a promoter long before I even started. And so it's like the town is thrived out. Does that make sense? All of the local people, it's like they've already got like an account under this other gal. So it's a little hard. There are a few people here and there that, show some interest with me, but then they're still just watching, and it's hopefully going to be a matter of time, right? Um, and so my big thing is to get out there on social media. I have a little farm, I have goats, I've got chickens, and I got a couple horses and whatnot. And so I'm farming and ranching communities are notorious for not taking care of themselves. I don't know, we're just super stubborn people. And so that's kind of where I'm trying to go. We put everything into our animals and all that kind of thing, and we put nothing into ourselves. Well, what good is that to our animals? And second of all, if we have another 9 to 5 job or whatever, and then plus our family. So that's kind of where I've been kind of thinking about, these past evenings when I'm up when I can't sleep because I hurt, so I've been making notes. It's like, well, that's kind of maybe what I need to focus in on, like when I'm doing some posting and whatnot. And yeah, us little farmers, we kind of stink at taking care of ourselves. So
Well, and it's funny that you said that because it's not just farmers. I actually
no.
have a friend, she's a nurse practitioner and she started thriving
Mhm.
and when it kind of opened her eyes, she was like, "Oh my gosh, all the nurses, all the doctors here at the ER, like she's like, we are in healthcare and we are the worst at taking care of
Mhm.
ourselves."
Yeah.
And it was so funny. So it's like, you know that, you see that. So continuing to share your farm life on social
Mhm.
media. It's going to bring more people to you. And then I also want to challenge you, and this is for anybody living in a small town that thinks their town is thrived out. It is not thrived out. I promise you. If you go to the grocery store and you don't see a DFT on everybody, there are still people ready to thrive. And Jamila's laughing because she lives in small town Kansas City, Colorado, and not everybody is thriving there yet. But what I will tell you is just because they have an account a long time ago and maybe they never ordered, that does not mean that they're stuck there. So, like, if this person
Right.
isn't promoting anymore or this person isn't,
She's not.
they don't, okay, even
I
better.
mean, not in particular. I mean, I just don't. I mean, yeah, she's not. She doesn't put anything on Facebook or anything
Okay.
like that anymore about it.
So,
So,
those people, they're like, oh, I created account with so and so. Hey, you know what? Let's just check with support and we'll get you released. We'll get you started when they're ready to start. So just remember that just because somebody knew so and so, that doesn't mean they're not gonna thrive with you later. Like,
right. That's true. Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah.
All
So,
right. Thank you so much. I'm gonna actually pull in a couple people. I'm gonna pull in Blair. Hi, surprise. I'm gonna pull in Blair because I see your face, and I want you to kind of share with us your thoughts on how talking about that. On it, we're coming into the holidays. Like, what are we posting? What are we sharing? How are you still promoting your business?
Trying to, okay, it's funny you just called me in from this because I was just telling my friend Megan, like, I have been so hard on myself this month because I'm what I feel is to be way behind, even though I know better and I know this happens, but I still have to give myself crap about it. That's just
Mm-hmm.
me. That's just me. But I have over the last 7 or 8 months. And it took me a while to get here because I used to worry about what everybody else thought of me and what everybody else was saying or thinking of me. And then, I finally got to the point that, if you're not feeding me, financing me, or finessing me, I'm going to keep it PG. Then I really don't care what you're thinking because right now, me and my family, like, we have to make this work. I have to make this work, and I'm going to share and talk about, not just because I have to make it work, but because of what it's done for me. And I know there are so many other people out there that need this product, and they keep telling themselves the same excuse I was telling myself for 3 and 4 months, right? But what I do now, and it took me a while, but once I did it like 3 or 4 times in a row, it got so easy. And now it's like if I'm not doing it, it's weird. But I get vulnerable. I mean, I really go deep into what's going on in my life. I talk about, my husband's incarceration 5 years after the fact and how that like flipped our whole world upside down. I talk about my recovery. I talk about my walk with Jesus and how that completely drug me out of the darkness because I had tried for many, many years, over half of my life. I battled a probably 15-year long addiction. And I mean, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on treatment and everything else, and nothing worked. But when I finally gave my life to the Lord, like it all started to turn around for me. And I just talk about that. And I don't care what anyone else thinks anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Do not care. So that's it. I'm hard on myself. I am. I'm still, and I catch myself. I was just telling Megan this. I catch myself every single day talking down to myself and like, gosh, I'm usually here, like past here. But there are seasons, this
Mm-hmm.
business, we have seasons, and this just might not be my season this month, but I'm making a comeback. Okay. I'm doing it. I'm doing
Well, and
it.
it's that thing where you think, and let's talk farmers, okay? If you know me, you know I use that analogy a lot because I'm visual. And I think about when farmers prepare a field or prepare their crops, and there's so much work that goes into it. And in one season, it is like overflowing, right? Like one season, the corn is just they can't harvest it fast enough, right? And then the next season could have been something in the summer, something in the drought, something in the soil, the wrong bird pooped on it, whatever. Like there, and then the next, so then it's like, wait, I've got half as much corn as last year. Like what happened? But they don't quit. They just like test their soil, they get back, So I would say for us, testing your soil, going back to see what might have went wrong where is tracking. Tracking your reach outs, tracking your conversations. Just like realtors track how many, reach outs they've done, how many, like what neighborhoods they've canvassed or this or that. Tracking is a part of your business. And if you can look back and go, well, that 6 months that I had cab 30, I was reaching out 200 times in a month. That 2 months that I only hit cab 10, let's go look at the tracking numbers. Oh, I was only reaching out like 50 times that much. So, or that month. So, truly tracking is going to help you. One, what it does for me, and I don't know if this is for everybody, but it helps you to see the highs, the lows, what was maybe the difference. And sometimes the difference is we were just in the middle of a government shutdown. Sometimes the difference is people are trying to hoard their money because they're running on a different level right now. Okay. And that has nothing to do with you. If you're like, Amber, I've tracked it, everything is the same. Well, okay, step on the gas, girl, up it up a little bit. Let's see what happens. But it could also just be this current situation of life right now. Now, if you track it and you're like, oh, yep, I see where I slowed up. Okay, just get back in. Just get back in, step back in, all the things, right? I had another point there and I forgot what it was. Oh well, it's fine. Blair, can you read my brain?
No, but you just got me thinking about something. So I honestly, this might not, you guys, this might not be what happened, but in my mind, I feel like was the start of what happened. And it's not even a what happened. It's just, it is what it is, right? It happened and it's happening, but we're coming back and that's okay. But so last month I hit my cab 20 goal kind of early on, and my goal was to go for 25. I wasn't really anywhere quite that area, and I was like having some at home issues. And since I hit my cab 20 earlier in the month, I do notice that I kind of slowed down on my everyday like things, and I know better than to doing that, because I know what I'm doing at beginning, middle, end of this month is what's going to carry into next month. But I had things going on, and I was just like, I was making excuses. I was so nothing. I was making excuses. And I wasn't doing for like that last not like maybe 12 days, the things I was doing normally from beginning and middle of that month. And I really, maybe that's why I'm being so hard on myself, because I know it's my fault. But that I really think that, like, you're right, the tracking thing and knowing like when you're doing what you're doing, like that track, that, absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, because I just had like a whole wake up moment just then. Thank you.
Well, I mean, we have to be reminded, because we're independent, so we're left on our own, and the thing is, it's kind of the same as working out, right? Like you got to get up and do the work. You got to get up and count your proteins and your macros and your this and your that and the how many reps and whatever. It's the same in this. And I know y'all laughing because y'all know I don't do that stuff. I don't work out. But I do walk. But it is the same in our business. We are responsible for us. Are you getting out of bed? Are you making a post first thing in the morning? Are you talking to your people? People want to talk to you. They want to hear you. They want to see you. They want to be in your life. Are you going live? But with that, you triggered what I was thinking earlier. So The other part of saying that one thing it does is the tracking shows me and you and whoever, right? Shows us where we're lacking, where we're overabundant, where, to make up for. But what it also does for me is when I track, when I'm inputting it, when I'm writing it down, when I'm keeping track of it, it actually fuels me to do more. Like I'm like, oh, I've done 5 reach outs. I can do 5 more. I can do this because I'm on track. I'm staying on track. Like I'm in a role. I'm in the zone. And when I'm just willy-nillying it, like I probably don't reach out to as many people as I think I do. I'm not keeping track of it. And I'm all like, yeah, I think I did that today. I'm good. Versus doing it and it's pushing you more. So, all right. Anybody else? Chanel, Dina, Katie, Janelle, anybody want to just share on those lines? And Katie's
Go
like,
out
right.
there this holiday when we have everybody near you and they probably heard you talk about Thrive a bunch of times and they'll probably roll their eyes, but who cares? You know what you're doing. You know that you're helping people, whether your family sees it, your friends see it, they support you or they don't support you. You have people watching you and they're probably, they're silent right now and they're wondering if you are not talking about the paycheck, whether you're getting a zero paycheck. I don't care because just somebody needs this. And, you doubting yourself, oh, I got a zero paycheck, so I can't talk about the opportunity. Yes, you can because you can get a weekly paycheck. You're capable. But what you think you're doing, we all say it, we're doing the do, doing everything that I can. I can't even say that. Amber can't even say that. There's always capability of more. So do the do, even if it's one thing at a time, like Amber said, checking off that list. Step out of your comfort zone, check off something new on your list, and maybe that's something new, or again, what you're still doing could, finally get somebody to say, okay, all right, I've been watching long enough. I need this. I need more money for the holidays. I don't know how I'm going to afford Christmas. I want to go on a vacation and I don't know how to afford anything like that. Like people need those things. They want those things. You gotta keep showing up. And, I told my team, you go on Instagram and you see these ads all the time for this product. And then like you start to like see it 10, 15 times and ignore it. And then you start kind of listening to it here and listening to it more and more. And it's getting you excited about the product. What it could it do for you? That's a freaking gun box for me, guys. But somebody could be needing vitamins that actually work. You just got to keep showing up and be in that ad, but just not in a gross way, just being you and relatable.
I love that. I'll talk because you called me out and I feel bad if I don't say something. Honestly, what Chanel said is like 100% because I've had so many people reach out to me recently that I didn't even know were watching me. And they're like, you know what, girl, I'm ready. And I'm like, what? Or hey, I've been looking through the site, like there's so many different options. And I'm like, oh, okay, shoot, let's do this. And I think, just being consistent, definitely share your own results with the products. They might not be physical, they might be mental health or just having more energy or being present with your children. Like it doesn't have to be physical. If it is, great. And if you don't, if you're just getting started, definitely share other people's progress, but you also don't want your timeline to be all Thrive. What I've noticed, if you share most, like more personal things on your profile, but you can share your business and other things you got going on through your stories because people always tap through stuff, mix it into your stories. So I've definitely evaluated some of that recently because, I kind of get off and need to realign with like, okay, what was working for me, what's not working for me. So that's been huge for me, but also recently sharing the referral program. So talk about the referral program. I send out emails or I'll send a message, but I think speaking to the simplicity of it and how simple it actually can be, like, hey, your husband want to do this with you, let's get him an account. Or think about one other person that would want to do this. And I actually was talking to one of my clients just this past week, and she just kind of looked at me like I was crazy. She's like, "Wait, it's that simple?" And I'm like, "Yes." So sometimes we make things more complicated than what they actually need to be. So just take it down to the basics, keep it simple for people. There's so many things like compensation wise that we can get deep down into the trenches of, and it can get confusing. And people don't want that. People want simple. So stay true to what brought you here, and thanks for investing in yourself and being on this call today.
Absolutely. That last part for sure is investing in yourself. r- Investing in yourself deserves a shout out. I'm like, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't say it. But give yourself credit where credit is due, right? If you're working your business, if you're showing up here, if you're taking notes, like give yourself some credit for that. And I want to say, I'll end this with this. One thing that a lot of us, the reason we have grown in this business is because we stopped caring what other people think. But at the same time, it's also hard. I'm going to tell y'all, it's a daily battle. Like, I'm like, do I post about this? Do I post about that? The last time I talked about money, I lost my best friend. Like, I don't know, so it is definitely, we all struggle with this. But I have to remember, and I'll have to share with you a story that I told a friend of mine, but I have to remember, like, those people don't pay my bills. Those people aren't what saved my marriage. Those people are not what provided the life my family has. That my boys have grown up doing things they love, and I've had time with them, and I've got to show them more of the world and all the things together. So remind yourself that. So I have a friend, and she'll be promoting very soon, but she has she was like, she loves her thrive. She freaks out if she's 6 capsule packs or less, and she's like, I'm going to the track, and I don't have, can you bring this with you, and I left this out, so she loves her thrive. She's all about thriving. She knows it works, all the things. And on the promoter side, she's like, I don't know. She said, I'm just not sure what people will think, and I'm worried about that. And she said, I don't know why I'm worried about that, but I'm worried about that. So both our kids race motocross, right? Her son is younger. I've known this girl since she was like 19 years old. And I said, okay, if this were your son and he came home and he said, Mom, everybody's making fun of me because I ride dirt bikes and that's not really a sport. I said, what would you say? She's like, I'd tell him to fuck off. Like, see? So, okay, y'all know I don't cuss that often, but hey. But it was just, and she doesn't either. That's what was so funny. She's little short red Spitfire. And she was just like, brah. So she now has customer referrals. We're working on getting her in line on the promoter side. And she's telling everybody they just need this Thrive thing. And so that is it. You have to just, what if you have to replace yourself with your kids, like do it, okay? Like what would you tell your child if your child was worried about what people thought about him? What would you tell your girlfriend if she's like, I have this amazing opportunity, but I'm scared what people think about me? What would you tell your best friend if she came to you and said that? So put yourself in those scenarios. That's it. I just I wanted to end with that. I thought it's such a cute story. You'll just watch. She's gonna be amazing. So, all right, thank you everybody for sharing, and happy Thanksgiving. I hope y'all have the best week ever.